Hi everyone, it's Mandy here and welcome back. You're on the Success Love Speed Summit and Yachting International Radio, and I'm extremely excited today to introduce you to the one and only Kate Gray, a fellow Tasmanian. Kate is just awesome. I've been mentored by her, I've been following her, and she's been speaking on stage with Brian Tracy, Les Brown, John Demartini, Jack Canfield, all these kind of stars and legends. And I've watched her go from being a personal trainer to a retreat facilitator to now a brand mentor and a extremely good business mentor. But Kate Gray, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for anyone that's taking the time to tune in. As you said, I'm a business influencer and a brand innovator, and I'm the co-creator of Conflict Marketing, the United Front of Visionary Entrepreneurs, and the Sprint to Scale program.
Amazing. What is conflict marketing? I think there'd be quite a few viewers interested in that concept. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, it's something that I created after studying like what makes movements. Because ideally, most of the clients I work with, and I think many humans with big hearts, we don't just want to sell a product or a service. We actually want to leave a legacy. And in order to leave a legacy, we must not just sell products and services. We must actually create a movement. And by creating a movement, we create a thing called viral coefficiency, which means that the movement actually begins to sell the products and services for us, because the products and services are just a disguise for the legacy and the shared values and the beliefs of the movement. So it's a different way of marketing. It specializes in organic marketing. And the reason I call it conflict is it's made of 3 pillars. One pillar is antagonism. And it doesn't mean that we go out and create conflict, but I did study a lot of very famous people, and one of them, political positioning aside, I have no political interest. I'm not from the US. I'm from Australia, from Tasmania. I studied a lot of Donald Trump. So Trump, if we think about marketing is the art of getting attention, and nobody gets attention like Trump. Whether you love him or hate him, he's still caught your attention. If you love him, he's still caught your attention. So I looked at what he did, and he created an antagonist in his narrative all the time, whether it's the deep state or the mainstream media. So this particular marketing style works with a narrative style marketing, and it works with actually building a narrative around you having an antagonist, which just means you stand for something. It doesn't mean that you're going to create an enemy. It just means by standing for something, you automatically stand against something else.
Beautiful. So what do you stand for?
That's such a good question. I stand for authenticity, being unapologetic, and building brands and businesses that leave the world a better place.
I love that. So clear. And that's why I absolutely love working with you and everything you do. So what I want to know is that your life, you didn't just wake up a brand mentor and major influencer and a millionaire. I know your journey wasn't, easy. So tell us about it. The theme of this is the secrets of success that no one talks about. So can you share a little bit of your journey and then what you would have done differently?
I love this question. Wow. Well, I come from Tasmania, as we've already established, which is the best place in Australia, clearly, because we're both from there. My journey wasn't super easy. So although it wasn't super easy, I don't actually think I would change any of it. And I experienced emotional and psychological abuse growing up from my father, and I don't blame him at all. Actually, I'm super grateful because it shaped me as a human being. And because of that experience, though, it led me on a path of seeking fulfillment and validation and approval. And I landed in the realm of drugs and partying, where I stumbled across a thing called a meth addiction, which was not altogether fun. At the time, I thought it was. And overcoming that was the single most thing I'm proud of in my life. I'm more proud of the 7-figure businesses, more proud of like the knowledge that I have as a marketer, or the lives that have changed. Being able to overcome that addiction is the single most thing I'm proud of. And then I went to uni. I got a degree in Buddhist psychology and philosophy. Not sure why to this day, to be honest, but it was great. It definitely helped me understand the psychology of human beings. And now when I work with people in business and in my Sprint to Scale program and United Front, as you know, and even conflict marketing, everything I do is done through the observation of human behavior and economic behavior. So I'm very grateful for that. I started my first kind of fitness business, made lots of money, had very poor financial literacy skills, had to close that down, owed the tax office a lot of money, could have gone bankrupt, but chose not to, chose to pay my, debt out of it. And that was my lowest point. From there, as you mentioned, I moved into the retreat space and then the business mentoring space. There's been a lot of challenges, a lot, and I wouldn't change any of it.
That's beautiful. And what do you think are the main secrets of your success? How do you stay so wild yet so grounded and so beautifully, like in your masculine with taking aligned action? And I know some of your requirements are to work with people that don't get stuck in the process. And I think I fell in love with you the day you said you won't tolerate adult tantrums, because I was like, they were the words I've been looking for my whole life. And I think everyone watching this will love that. So then you're so feminine as well, and you're so in flow. And so what are your secrets? How do you get to be so cool?
Oh, you're amazing. So first, in terms of the masculine and the feminine, I think it's because I don't see it as a gender role. I see it as energy. And I have this term, and actually I learned it from Jeffrey Slater when it comes to speaking, and it's called behavioral range. So the person with the most behavioral range has the most influence. And what I learned from that is being able to be direct and linear and results orientated, which is perceived as a masculine trait, is just another behavioral range that I have access to. And if I give up making it right or wrong, or a man or a woman, and just go, it's just another form of a tool, then I can move in and out of them with ease and grace. And I don't find I burn out, because I go, cool, I have a repertoire of tools in front of me, like a palette, like I'm an artist. I have a palette of paints. And depending on what color is required at the time, I just use the color without really giving it a label or a story. And then I can move in and out of the colors with ease and grace.
That is awesome. I love that. And so what do you do every day to set yourself up? Do you have a morning routine, or do you just do what you feel like?
I find freedom within structure, and I find flow within discipline.
Yeah.
For me, I definitely find the repetition of being able to have the same routine every day in terms of my morning routine is essential for me to set the day up. We are the context that creates the content of our life. What I mean by that is how we show up energetically, psychologically, emotionally, physically, our physicality, our health defines how our life is built around us. So my morning ritual is a way that I ensure I'm setting myself up for success. So every day I will get up, I potter around the house for a little bit. So I light the incense, I clear the space, probably a little wooey. I get my food ready for the day, and it's like quite a meditative process. I'm really present with the food. I make sure everything's ready and I'm organized. Then I have a smoothie with my partner, we meditate, and then we walk in the forest without our phones. And then I will go and exercise. And so at the gym, lifting weights, I love doing that, it's fun. And that is every day, except the only thing that changes on Saturdays and Sundays is we replace the meditation with Dr. Joe's walking meditation, and we do it outside in the park with our dog.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can't rate the morning routine enough. And I find those walks without my phone, I just got back from one, and I think it's just the most precious time to stop, because so often it's so easy to go for a walk and actually be checking messages and walking while we're working. And then, and the dogs notice it too, right? Like the dogs really notice it when my dogs are so much happier since I started leaving the phone at home. So I'm sure yours
That's so
too.
good. I feel like I watched an interview with Elon Musk, and the interviewer's like, oh, you know, what do you think about AI, you know, becoming a part of humans? You know, when do you think that will happen in terms of like, you know, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years? And he's like, it's already happened. What do you think the mobile phone is? Like the smartphone. And I was like, oh, it actually is. Like it's to the point where people are anxious without it. And it's almost like we're being conditioned maybe to accept technology as a part of our body. And so I'm like, need to spend less time with my phone. So at least once a week, additional to the walks, I try and operate without my phone and really disconnect from that addiction to technology.
I do the same. Mine just started ringing.
On point.
So on point. Yeah, I highly recommend one day off technology as well. And I've got one more question before we wrap it up. If you were talking to someone that was really keen to, you know, make that jump from six figures to seven figures, to be able to show up more, contribute more, and make more of an impact, what would be the one bit of advice you would give that person?
Find someone who's done it before you, that you admire, that have the same values and traits that you want to embody. It doesn't have to be the same impact or legacy, but they have the same values, and literally get their advice, support, and help. Like the fastest way to save yourself time is to get somebody who's been there before you, and they'll collapse time for you. You cannot underestimate having a mentor of sorts. It is the fastest way to get where you want to go. And I know there's often resistance around investment, and I've felt this myself. Yet when I started really up leveling, I think the middle of last year when I worked with Gary Vee, and it was a 25K investment for 2 days, I was so nervous. But from that moment on, I was like, I just need to say yes to getting help, because I've gotten as far as I can go without help. And the minute I said that, like my business, my life, everything, my profit tripled exponentially.
That is gold. Thank you so much. So on that note, if you're really loving this interview, which I know you all are, and you want to find out more about Kate and what she does and the United Front and working, you still do one-on-one packages as well? Do you still work with people one-on-one, or is it all as a group?
I don't do one-on-one anymore. We do we have Sprint to Scale, which is an 8-person elite mastermind, and then we have a 4-person mastermind. We actually find the groups, because proximity is power, the groups are more effective because everybody moves as a unit and we all learn from each other. It's actually way faster to scale with a support group of people and a mentor.
Yeah, and having been in your groups, I totally agree. And it's a really good way to make like-minded friends as well, and, you know, have success buddies that you grow with too. So we're going to put all Kate's links below. Check her out, follow her. She's amazing and pretty entertaining. Kate writes some pretty awesome, polarizing and slightly triggering posts that I always enjoy reading too. So check her out, whatever line of work you're in. Thanks for being on the show, Kate. I really, really stoked to have you in this space. It's been such an honour. And rock on, sister. I love what you're doing and the way you're changing the world.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for watching. Big love.
Cheers.